Yeah. I usually just add it manually. Yeah. But they give you a ton of pages that already have reviews like on them, which is pretty sweet. Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. So we usually just use it for B2C, not B2B. All right, guys. We got a little timer here, 20 seconds. We got a newcomer. Hey, how's it going? Awesome. Kenny? All right, great. Nice to meet you. Oh, you figured you'd just come by? Oh, cool. Oh, great. Oh, awesome. Sweet. Well, welcome. That's great. All right, great. So why don't we get started, guys? We're going to go into session 6 now. And let me just get there on the slides. Session 6 is offer crafting masterclass. We've done this a few times at the Mastermind. I feel like it's always good to just be refreshing ourselves on our B2B and B2C offers. So B2B, B2C offer, just what that means is essentially B2B is reaching out to your potential clients, business to business, like how to get businesses to pay you $3,000 to $5,000 a month to run their AI agency services, whether lead generation or AI agents, receptionists, appointment setters, whatever it is. And B2C are the campaigns and offers that you run for your clients to get them leads and to get them business, to get them bookings, to get them sales so that they'll continue to pay you month after month. Because that's the name of the game with this business model. It's really, I love this business model because it's recurring revenue. There are a lot of ways to make money online, and one of the most popular ones in the past was like high ticket coaching. And there is a coach who shall not be named because I've kind of taken them to task in some of my ads in the past that built like a really big consulting program, and people made a lot of money selling these big high ticket packages, $6,000, $10,000 to like get lifetime access to a coaching program. And when their sales dried up, they didn't have any recurring revenue. They had hundreds or thousands of people in their community that they had to keep serving and helping because they gave them lifetime access. Because their sales dried up, they didn't have recurring revenue. So I love the agency business model because there's always going to be an endless supply of potential clients that will pay you thousands of dollars per month, every single month, to generate them leads. And when clients leave, it's just a simple process. If you have your sales process dialed in, which will be the next session, we'll talk about sales, to get a new client and get them to pay you to replace the client that you lost. So the beautiful thing about this business model is that it's recurring revenue. When you sign up someone for $3,000 a month, the goal is not just for them to pay you $3,000 a month one time or $5,000 a month one time. It's to get them to pay you $5,000 a month every single month that they're a client. We sign up clients for 3-month agreements generally, and then it goes month to month after that. One of my students at the last mastermind we did in this area, his agency was at $500,000 a month, and he sold lead packages. They would do pay per lead, and they would sell these packages of leads, and they would sell the package of leads. They would get all the leads, and then they would go back to the client and try to sell them again to buy another package. And I was like, why don't you just put them on auto bill? Like after the package is fulfilled, they just re-up automatically for another package. Like Netflix doesn't text you before your renewal, hey, do you want to renew your Netflix subscription this month? if they sent out that text message to all their Netflix subscribers, they would lose so many subscribers. To be like, you know what, I haven't watched Netflix in 3 months. I'm going to cancel it. Thanks for letting me know. So why cause frustration for your business by not setting them up on a recurring revenue model? That agency was already at 500 grand a month without a recurring revenue model. And then once that little shift helped them scale a lot more. So, it's important to see the power of the business model when you have a recurring revenue stream. And so we want to talk about offers because we want to get people to come in to be willing to spend that kind of money. So a great offer beats great marketing every time. You could have the greatest creative, the greatest ads, like the funniest ads or the best like marketing structure. But if the offer is not that strong, you're not going to get as many leads. You're not going to fill your calendar with potential clients. That's why offers matter, is that a great offer is always going to drive the marketing results. You could have mediocre ads. Like honestly, like when we went over yesterday, all of my AI ads platform and how to build ads with AI with High Level, who's sponsoring this event, and our AI ads platform. Honestly, you saw those ads, like they weren't that like mesmerizing. Like they were just like AI generated images with slideshows and videos and maybe some avatars and like some background and stuff, some stock footage. Nothing really groundbreaking, but they convert and they get results because of the offer. The offer behind it is what's driving the results. If you could somehow make an offer sound better, it doesn't really matter if the creative's not as good. It's the headline, it's the copy, it's the offer that's going to make the sales for you. So offers are your differentiator in competitive markets. A lot of you are in different niches that are pretty competitive. You have a lot of other agency competitors in those niches that you serve. And you have to be able to stand out and use your offer to your advantage. We're going to talk about different offers and how to make sure that you can use an effective offer, but not pigeonhole yourself into a corner at the same time. Because sometimes strong offers have to have strong terms and conditions, in order for people to qualify for those offers. You could combine two elements of an offer to make it sound really good, but not necessarily as it looks on paper. And I'll explain what that means in a moment. So focus on what clients want: results, not processes. Results, not features, not tech tools or anything, right? Like you want to focus on results. Like I'd much rather have an offer that says, hey, get 50 appointments guaranteed or you don't pay, than to have an offer like, hey, use my AI call center agent that'll schedule your appointments for you. Like that's all features. It's like it's AI, it'll set your appointments for you. But if you just say, hey, get 50 appointments or you don't pay, like people are gonna see that and want that, right? And so 3 keys to a high converting offer: clarity of promise, clearly state the expected results; risk reversal, reduce perceived risk with guarantees; and stacking value, add bonuses to make the offer irresistible. So there are ways that you can, stack an offer where it's clear, it's to the point, and it's reversing risk without you taking on too much of that risk. So like to give you an example, like for instance, that offer that I just explained, get 50 appointments or you don't pay, we're doing that offer right now currently for life insurance prospects. But the key is that they have to pay for one of our higher tiers in order to get that offer. So when it says get 50 appointments or you don't pay, everyone's filling that out because they're like, hey, I need 50 appointments. But then they realize on the call, they're like, hey, like they have to make a significant investment in order to get those 50 appointments. So they have to then maybe tier down to get a different offer. So like one thing that we do to, add bonuses to that offer is we say, hey, if you buy 50 appointments, you get 10 for free. So now it's 60 appointments and 10 of them are free. That's an extra bonus that we add on the back end of the offer to try to get people to book calls. Now, in order for them to do that, they have to buy one of the higher tiers. And when they realize that, like, oh man, I really want this, but I can't afford it, then we can just lower the price and they'll sign up for a lower offer and not necessarily have to give them such crazy guarantees or bonuses. So it's just a means to an end. Sometimes your B2B offers have to be super strong just in order to get people on your calendar. But most of those clients will forget what they opted into. I mean, I know a lot of you in this room have taken my advice on different offers. You've run crazy offers like that sound amazing. And then when you get on the sales calls, no one brings them up. 90% of people forget what they opted into. It's just a means to an end to get them onto your calendar. And when 10% of people do bring it up, then you explain the terms and conditions of the offer. I really don't like guarantees that much. I don't like putting like, hey, we're going to get you a minimum guarantee of leads or minimum guarantee of appointments. I don't generally like to do that. But oftentimes we've done things like a warranty, where if you don't make sales, you can pay back a portion. We'll pay back a portion to you, or et cetera, et cetera. We only do that in like super, like in situations where we know that they're going to get results. And we set up the terms and conditions in such a way that it's very rare that they're going to be able to get their money back. Like, for instance, they have to report to us on every single appointment what the feedback was, what the result was. They have to let us know if they made a sale or not. And if they don't respond to those things, well, the guarantee or the warranty becomes null and void. So we stack it with a bunch of terms and conditions to make sure that the clients are doing their part, and it's very rare that people actually try to claim those guarantees or warranties. And then, some things that you can do for, this is actually B2B, not B2C. Sorry about that. Free lead trials, risk-free offers, performance-based guarantees, appointment-driven offers. Like, we could say, like, you'll get 150 leads guaranteed or you don't pay, but generally it's like they have to spend a certain amount of money, and most people aren't going to want to spend that. And we spread it out over 3 months. So if we tell someone, hey, you're going to get 150 leads or you don't pay, we're basically saying, hey, you're going to get 50 leads a month for 3 months. That's where you get the 150 leads. It's a 3-month trial. And generally speaking, in that niche, when we offer that offer, we know that we can get 50 leads on that minimum budget, most of the time. If you guys can just save your questions till we kind of get through most of this. If you have a question, just write it down. We'll cover it toward the end. If you have any questions on the live stream, feel free to post them. You can post your questions here in the chat under the comments as well, and we'll cover those toward the end. And appointment-driven offers. Appointments are always going to be a stronger offer than leads. If you can guarantee appointments, or you say like, hey, you get appointments or you don't pay, it's going to be stronger than just leads, because a lot of people know they have to call leads. Some leads are not good. Not every lead is going to be the best quality, but when you talk about booked appointments, it generally gets people, interested. It sells that sizzle that they're going to have actual opportunities to close people. So appointment-driven offers can work really well too. All right, and then these are like some B2B offer examples. Exactly. Also, get 30 exclusive solar leads free on a paid trial. So the way we would do that is we would separate it over 3 months. So they would get 10 leads for free for 3 months. So 10 leads in the first month, 10 leads in the second month, 10 leads in the third month. In order for them to get all 30 leads for free, they have to complete all 3 months. And generally, like, if, let's say for instance, the average lead cost is $20 a lead, that means that for 10 leads in the first month, we only have to give them a $200 credit. So we would basically, spend that extra $200 on their campaign, or reduce what they're paying. Like if they're paying $5,000 a month, we might reduce it to $4,800 for the first 3 months, and then it goes back up to $5,000 a month. And we basically tell them, hey, the average cost per lead is about $20 per lead. So we're going to put $200 towards your campaign to get you those extra 10 leads. And those are like the terms and conditions of the offer. But on the front end, when the client prospect sees that, they're going to say, oh, I get 30 leads for free. This is great. And they're going to sign up. And a lot of them just forget about it when you get on the call anyway. So you don't necessarily always have to offer it. Book 10 HVAC consultations in month 1, or we work free. Something that you could do that, like where if you know you can get them 10 bookings pretty considerably on a certain budget, maybe there's a budget like requirement. Maybe they have to spend a minimum of $8,000 a month or $10,000 a month to get that. And if you don't hit that, then you just don't charge them a retainer the next month until you hit it. But you want to set up your offers in such a way that you know you're going to hit it. Like, you don't want to set yourself up for failure. You want to make sure that your offers are actually doable. And sometimes that takes experience. You might want to work with a few clients in the niche first before you just start going, offer heavy, making the offer too good if you can't necessarily deliver. So you want to make sure you can deliver the offer too. 25 new roof appointments in 25 days challenge, something like that, where you can deliver on it if they spend a certain minimum. Well, that requires a $10,000 budget. Well, I don't have $10,000. Okay, well, why don't we lower it down to $5,000? We can't do the 25 new roof appointments in 25 days, but we can offer you, 8 to compensate for that, or whatever you think that you can work with that budget. And then there's like free pilot programs or short trials you could do, basically where you, essentially pilot something. Like right now we're doing an offer where people get the call center for free. So we build an AI call center because there's not that much cost for us to build it out and to implement it. So we offer the call center for free for the first month for people signing up on the assumption that they're going to continue it for months 2 and 3 and pay for it. So that's something that you could do. Like if you have something else that you add in, like AI appointment setters, or maybe you added an email automation for free or text automation for free for a certain period of time, and you can make those types of offers. ROI focused packages, where right now we have a competitor in the generator space that's offering, hey, like you make sales or your money back. So we're actually going to compete with that and basically say the same thing. We're going to say like, hey, get 150 leads guaranteed. If you don't make sales, you don't pay. And essentially the fine print of that is that if they don't make at least one sale, we won't charge them again until they do. And it'll be over the course of a 3-month agreement. Like the likelihood of them not making one sale over the course of 3 months is very, very low. And if they don't complete the full 3 months, that guarantee becomes null and void. So let's say, for instance, they don't make a sale in the first month, they're probably not likely to continue in months 2 or 3. And if they do, they're probably going to end up making a sale at some point. And then we would also put in the fine print that if they had an adequate opportunity to make a sale but failed to do so, like say, for instance, one of the leads bought a generator, then that would also make the guarantee of their money back null and void. So essentially the way we would do that is if someone were to have completed the 3 months and not claim to have not made a sale, we would set up our AI appointment setter and set it up as a non-appointment agent, which I showed you guys yesterday you can do with our AI voice platform. You could set up an agent that's not an appointment agent to just call all their leads and say, hey, it looks like you were in the market for a generator. We're just taking a survey. Did you end up buying a generator? And if anyone says, yes, I'm in the process of buying a generator, that would make their guarantee null and void because they failed to close an adequate opportunity. They bought it from someone else. So we can't really be held responsible for that. So you can put these types of terms and conditions into your offer to protect yourself and ultimately not have to give much money back. And in most cases, over 3 months, if someone can't make a sale, like the reason why I'm confident to be able to offer this is because every single client that we sign up with generators makes sales in the first week. So it's really a no-brainer offer for us in that niche. Retainer plus per appointment pricing, basically you could say that you're performance-based, you only charge per appointment. Hey, we only charge per, after you pay the base fee, it's just we charge per appointment, performance-based only. You can make that kind of promise in your B2B offer ads because you're essentially, charging per appointment on top of your retainer. So you can actually omit the part that you're charging about the retainer and do it's like pay per appointment pricing for bookings. And you can disclose the full story when they get on the sales call. So it's just a matter of like mixing and matching different offers, putting together different things, setting up your terms and conditions that protect you as a business owner so that you can have the best types of results for your clients, but ultimately to attract more prospects to fill your calendar and give you opportunity to sell them. Get booked 10 booked appointments in 14 days or you don't pay, 20 insurance appointments in 30 days or refund 50%, $3,500 a month plus $50 per appointment. Like these are just some offer examples. And then for the B2C stuff, we generally do B2C. Now we're going to pivot to offers for your clients. So remember I told you that we normally run lead generation campaigns under a generic program name. So it'll be under like a generic page. Like for instance, if we're running solar ads, we're going to run it under like the Clean Energy Network or the Clean Energy Initiative or a brand that's generic. And we might say, hey, like for generators, you might say, hey, this is the generator payback incentive program. Get paid $1,000 to install a generator at no cost upfront, no money down, something like that. We call it like a generic program name. So, Generator Growth Accelerator, Home Buyer Appointment Program, Exclusive Insurance Lead System. These are some like examples of B2B names. But for B2C, you could come up with different ones. Like for instance, I know JP for his property management, she does like the short-term rental network, like where he's trying to help people that get Airbnb property management, and he like runs the ads under a generic program name to try to help these Airbnb owners get more bookings. So he runs it under a generic program name rather than running it from his clients' pages and clients' brands. Because like think about it, if you see two ads, one ad might be, you know, from a company like John's property management company. We're the best. We have 1,000 homes that we help. Blah blah blah. That looks like a commercial to most people. They're not going to really resonate with that. So instead, you can run it under the short-term rental network and say, hey, we have this incentive program for your Airbnbs where you can get your revenue to increase by 30%. We'll guarantee your listings or guarantee your bookings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Click below to see if you qualify for this, and we'll connect you with our property management division. That's going to sound a lot more generic and get more leads than something like an ad from John's property management company or a branded company. So, you know, these are just some examples of some more B2B offers. 40 exclusive leads a month with free setup. You know, we do the free setup a lot on our sales presentations, where we'll actually tell people we have $1,000 or $2,000 setup fee, and that we'll waive that fee if they move forward on the call. So using some of that incentive-based pricing in your offers, but also in your sales process. So these are some examples of that. So you really only need like one great offer for a hot niche. Like if you could find that offer that's generating leads for your clients and that offer that's generating leads for you, for your business, you really only need to like switch it around and move it around, change different phrases, try different things. Like you don't really have to refresh it that often if it works. You know, for the longest time, what took us from 2 million per month in our agency to 4 million per month was just one offer. And that offer was get the call center for free. And we didn't say get the call center for free. We actually put numbers to it, made it specific. We said get up to 80 appointments for free when you sign up for a short paid trial. So we would actually offer up to 80 appointments for free. How could you do that? Well, it required a $27,000 a month investment to get 80 appointments for free. But if they wanted to only spend $3,000, then they were only going to get 5 appointments for free, right? And it was only free for the first month. And then after that, they had to pay every month after that. So like you could tell, like if you saw an ad, like if you're a solar company and you're like, hey, get 80 appointments for free, you're going to click on that. You're going to fill it out. But then when you get on the sales call, it's like, yeah, it's 80 appointments if you spend $27,000, and then you have to pay $50 per appointment for every 80 after that. Well, now it's a different story. But in the next session, we're going to talk about sales and high ticket sales, because when I explain it like that, it sounds like it's kind of a bait and switch. It's kind of like, man, it's like really throwing people off. Like, how's anyone going to buy that? Well, they buy it because you follow a distinct sales process that you don't explain it just like I did, because I'm telling you guys the inner circle. I'm telling you the secrets of the business model here. But when you present it to a client or to a prospect, it's packaged in a much different way. It's packaged in a psychological sales experiment where they're going to see the value of it and want that, even though you explain the terms and conditions after the fact. They're still going to be wanting to get it. So that's what we'll go into next. But why don't we, go into some questions. But basically, this model, you could be a solopreneur and have your AI ads being run from our GHL snapshots, have access to our AI voice system. You could add 5 to 10 clients at 3 to 5K a month. That's 20 to 50K a month. And then add AI appointment setting upsells to scale to 100K a month plus. And that's really the goal for all of my students to get to 100K a month as soon as possible. So why don't we open up to some questions? I know, Raul, you had one. What was your question?
My question was in regards to give 50 leads, whatever. Like, how does that work? It's like deposit, like it says $250, give or take, to get 50 leads. You just give like a credit of 250 in their ad account, and just how does that work? We give you 3 leads. How do you actually incorporate that into your ad account?
Yeah, so like basically we measure what the average cost per lead is versus the ad spend. So like for instance, if we tell someone, hey, our national average per lead is $20 per lead, and we're going to give them 10 free leads per month.
Yeah.
So 10 leads at $20 per lead is $200. So we say, hey, the leads might cost $20, they might cost $10, they might cost $50. So, but we're going to credit you $200 because that's the average. So it should get you 10 leads for free, but you might get 4 if the leads cost $50, or you might get 20 if the leads cost $10. So it's just really, when we said 10 leads for free, it's just based on a national average. And so we're just going to credit your account each month $200. And we either spend that extra $200 on their account for them, because we're running the ad accounts, under our ad spend. We collect the ad spend from the client. So we're spending that extra $200 on their account and they're paying the full price, or we're just discounting their package price by $200 a month, whichever they prefer. Hey, do you want just like $200 off a month, or do you want the extra 10 or leads or so, right? And we give them the option to choose that. So that clarifies that it's not literally 10 leads for free. It's just, hey, the 10 leads should cost $200. We're going to give you a $200 credit. Yes, Mary?
So you go back to the slide where you have the example offers, please.
Yeah, sure. This one or?
Yes. That one.
Okay.
You and I have talked about this, and I'm curious to hear a few of the thoughts on this. So, like, the cost per lead is so high for a legal industry. Obviously, with the credit.
Right, that was what I was going to say. So, like, you're in the personal injury lawyer space. Leads are very expensive. What, $100 to $200 a lead? $500 a lead? That sounds high. I've heard other people say $100 to $200. Oh, for phone calls. Okay, so if you get a $6,000 ad spend credit, like you can offer to your clients if they spend $12,000 in Google, you could technically say that they can get 10 leads for free. You know, but they have to spend $12,000. And 12,000 in ad spend, yeah. So you'd probably say, like, you know, you have to spend 15 grand in the first month. You put 12,000 toward ads, you get 10 leads for free. You keep 3 grand, and then your retainer goes back up to 6K in month 2. You know, something like that, where you can make that work. Because I mean, that's crazy that Google's giving away that much money. They really must be yearning for ad spend right now. So they're willing to give you $6,000 per client. So just for context sake for everyone here, Eddie's in the personal injury lawyer space. He got an offer from Google to be able to offer $6,000 in ad spend for any accounts he opens, but they have to spend $12,000 in the first month.
No, in 60 days.
Oh, in 60 days. So you could actually spread it out over 2 months. You can spread it out over 2 months. So that's even better. That's even better. So now you can give them a more affordable option. So that's great. So yeah, I would definitely do that.
Those offers are limited, like they're capped at a certain amount every month.
And just only run that. Like, just run your ad as like 10 free leads.
Do you think specifically just PI, or should I just say all of them?
Well, I mean, we've had this conversation before. Like, you end up getting a bunch of lawyers, but you end up only closing the PI ones. So, I mean.
Well, and actually, as you've been talking, the more I think about it, the more like, it's because the PI guys are the ones that actually run it like a sales organization.
Right.
Like, you look at these guys, like solar and roofing and insurance, especially, like, they have to sell these. And a lot of these lawyers don't think that way. They just don't think that way.
Right.
And so I think that PI is the only exception where they actually are like, oh, I want to sign up 40 cases this month. You know? So.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe have it broad to all law firm owners, see what you get. But yeah. I know there's a competitor offering 10 free leads. Like, that's their offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's people that used to be in solar. Yeah, like they stopped really targeting solar and started targeting personal injury lawyers.
I got offered this bigger offer. I'm like, that's 100%
using the ad spend credit.
100%.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I always have clients that are like, well, I've already ran Google ads. I'm like, that's not what's going on here. Like, it's just because you don't have an account with me, you're going to get credit.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Cool. Any other questions? Any questions on the live stream? Feel free to post them in. Go ahead. Yes. Ivy, why don't you go first?
Okay. So, like, what would be an offer for like a dentist or orthodontist?
So for a dentist, I know they can get like pretty inexpensive leads. So you could do like something aggressive where it's like, 50 leads for free, and then you spread it out over 3 months, right? So you could also say like, hey, like 200 leads guaranteed or you don't pay. And it's over 3 months. Like, I know dental clients, for our students, like they'll be running dental implant leads and they'll get leads for like $10 to $20 a lead. So if you could put enough ad spend into their campaign over 3 months to get them 200 leads, pretty much as a sure shot, you can offer those types of offers where it's like 200 leads or you don't pay, right? Like for generator clients, we do that. Like we had an offer where we were doing 250 leads or you don't pay. For the travel agents, we do 300 leads or you don't pay. So it's 100 leads per month over 3 months, and we can do that on a $500 ad spend budget because we can get such cheap leads. So it's just a matter of knowing your niche, knowing the cost per lead in the niche. You might have to get a couple clients in that niche first, and then kind of figure out, hey, this is what the lead cost is, and then basically tell them, hey, we're going to be able to hit this. You know, but the crazy thing is, we're going to cover this in the sales process training next, is that most people just don't bring it up. Like they see the ad, they see the offer, they're interested, they book a call, but they just don't bring it up on the call, and you end up not really having to offer it in most cases. So even though we offer guarantees in our ads, we rarely ever sign up deals with guarantees because it's just not part of the sales conversation that we're having with prospects. Yeah, or actually, let's go to Eric first because he had a question. Yeah, Eric?
In regards to the generic program that you talked about, say for instance, like the Clean Energy Network.
Right.
So you're using one page, and let's say you have 5 solar clients.
Right.
All of those solar clients' ads are coming through that network one page, right?
Correct. But like we're setting up separate campaigns in every location. So we might have one client in Houston, we might have one client in New Jersey, we might have one client in California, we might have one client in Florida, we might have one client in Oregon. They're all running through the same page, but they all have unique lead forms and unique campaigns. So all their leads are going only to them.
Right.
So they're exclusive.
So then that page in itself, are you also building that page up? Like, is that page having its own content? Like,
You could, but it's not really that essential. Like most people just opt in from the post. Not a lot of people go forensic on the page and check, oh, what is this page? Is it legit? Like we still get every day like $5 leads, $10 leads, $12 leads, and many of our pages don't have much posting on it.
so it's generic, it's all the way around.
Yeah, just generic. Yeah. Yeah. Raul, you have a question?
The question is like the 3 months. I only do once a month, and that's something I'm a certain commitment to work with me. What do you bring up where it's a 3 month thing? From a get-go after you receive the deposit? Like,
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that in the next session on the sales part, but we generally do not bring up the 3 month agreement until after we've taken their credit card information and taken a deposit. So we take a deposit and then we explain the 3 month agreement because it's a psychology thing. So let's say, for instance, you're pitching $5,000 a month, right? And you tell them in the sales process, well, it's a 3 month agreement. So now it turns from $5,000 to $15,000 in their mind because they're immediately going to go to their left brain, the fear part of their brain, and be like, oh, it's not actually 5,000. I have to do this for 3 months. It's 15,000, right? Instead of thinking about, hey, this $5,000 a month investment in my business might make me $20,000 or $30,000 a month. So they're not thinking about the fact that it's going to make them 60 or 80 or 100,000. They're just thinking about the price, that's 15,000. So what we generally do is like, hey, it's $5,000 a month, you know, and it's $5,000. Like we just focus on the 5,000, and we just take $100 deposit today to get the process started. And like we'll cover that in the next section, how to do that in the sales process. But once we take the $100 deposit, we get their card information, we run the card, then we explain the 3 month agreement. We tell them it's a 90-day trial. We don't recommend doing this for less than a month. And let me break down to you what's in the contract. Number one, it's a 90-day trial. Like you have to give this at least 3 months. You're going to close some deals in the first month. You're going to close some leads in the second and third month that came from the first month. So it's just ideal to try this for 3 months because that's going to give you the biggest overview of your ROI. The second thing in the agreement you're going to see is like our services, that all the leads are exclusive. They're not going to be shared with anyone else. We might even give you an exclusive territory. Like if it's a specific niche that we're just getting into, we might give them an exclusive territory, like a 15-mile radius around their office location. We might say like, hey, then it's going to talk about the pricing, how it's $5,000 per month. This is how you're going to pay on your credit card or whatever. And then you're going to see in section 6 that we have to have 30 days notice for you to cancel. So just let us know. Like if you ever want to cancel anytime, you can cancel anytime. After the 3 months, just give us 30 days notice. Just shoot us an email. And it's a super easy process to cancel. And then later, you're going to see a section at the bottom of the agreement that says like there's no guarantee of financial results. Now let me just explain what that means. It's not saying that we are not going to guarantee you get results. That's not what we're saying. We're going to get you leads. We've never had a campaign just get 0 leads. If that were ever to happen, you paid us $5,000 and you got nothing for it, of course we'd refund all your money. But the thing is that we can't guarantee your financial results. We can't predict how much money you're going to make. Some clients make a 4x return on investment. Some clients make a 10x return on investment. And some clients just break even. So we can't really determine how much money you're going to make. So that's all that's saying in that section. So you don't have to be, kind of thrown off with that. And like, as long as you say that confidently and calmly and collected, and after you collected their card, they already trust you because they gave you their credit card. They're already signing up. And so then when they go to the agreement, they see that they have to initial all those sections. Oh, this is all the stuff that the person told me, and they just initial it and they sign it. And 98% of the time, they just move forward with it. Sometimes people say, I'm just really not for this 3-month agreement. Like, I really just want to do this for a month. Okay, well, I mean, it's just not really worth it for us to like just do this for a month. Like, we don't just, it's not something you can just dip your toe in. So why don't we meet in the middle and just do 2 months? Would that be fair? Because like after 2 months, you should have a decent amount of sales, and then after that we can discuss what to do next, or you can cancel. How does that sound? And usually they're like, okay, that makes sense. So you kind of meet in the middle, right? If someone really pushes back on the agreement, but most people don't because they already gave you their credit card. That's the key thing. They've already given you their credit card. They already trust you, and that trust like happened from before, earlier in the call, and they believe in like that this is going to work for them. So when you just kind of nonchalantly tell them it's a 90-day trial, they're just kind of like, oh, I didn't know that before. It's like this is like what's going on in their brain. Like, I didn't know that before, but like it makes sense. I have to do this for 3 months. So like that makes sense. And then they just go along with it. And then they sign the contract because they see all the stuff that you told them about in advance. So they're not just like getting shocked when they see the agreement and all these terms and conditions and everything. So that's basically the process that we go through in order to make it a streamlined, smooth process. And I highly recommend you do 3 months because it's going to help your churn rate. It's going to help your retention. And it's actually going to get your clients better results because like, they will get leads in the first month that they close in month 2 and month 3. As long as they're following up with leads, as long as they're doing their job, like following up with leads, they should close some deals in future months from the first batch of leads. And they're going to see the power of that. And they're going to realize that they need a long-term perspective. I mean, that long-term perspective is going to be emphasized in the onboarding process because you're going to tell them how important it is for them to have a long-term perspective. That the first month might go great, it might not go so great, but you have to just hang in there. And that kind of expectation you're going to set on the onboarding call after they've signed the contract, after they've paid the full amount for the first month. You don't want to really give them the bad news until after those things happen. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't do contracts. I just do terms and conditions.
Yeah, I know you just do terms and conditions. Yeah.
So would you just do? I just do 7 terms and conditions based on like each offer effectively.
You mean like if you were to target a different niche?
No. If I was to like make some kind of offer, like some kind of guarantee, like 10 leads, something like that, put different terms in there. Would I just put that in the full terms that I have now, or do I make it like kind of a separate term website, term page, I should say?
I mean, I would think since you're dealing with attorneys, you should probably include it in your original terms.
Yeah, just put it in there with the full terms. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was getting into like marketing contracts.
Right. All right, are we good on that stuff, the offers and everything? Any ideas sparking your mind for like offers you could potentially run for B2B or B2C? Like an example of a B2C offer that we built was like one for generators. Like we found that generator salespeople just kind of like, they didn't really have like a strong offer. Like it was just like, hey, do you want a generator? This is the price. That's it. So we taught them how to add $1,000 to their financing contract. So a generator usually costs $15,000, $20,000. So instead, they'll make it for $16,000, or if it's a $20,000 generator, they'll make it for $21,000. They finance that, and they get a payment, and then they just write them a check for $1,000 when the generator is fully installed. So when they get the money from the financing, they get paid the $16,000 in full. They just write them a check for $1,000, send them a 1099, and like, hey, you got paid $1,000 to install a generator. That's kind of the offer that we do. So we run that for all of our B2C campaigns. We either run $1,000 discount or we run $1,000 get paid $1,000 to get a generator. So when people see that ad, it's like, get paid $1,000 to get a generator. Hey, I've been thinking about getting a generator. Hey, this guy's giving me $1,000. This program's giving me $1,000. I should check this out, because it's not an ad, really. It doesn't look like an ad. It looks like a generic program. And they fill it out. And that's how we're getting under $5 a lead, just because of that single offer. If we just said, hey, get a generator, it's a $99 a month payment, it's not going to be as effective. The lead costs are going to be 3 times as much. So we taught the generator salespeople how to offer that. So it's just an example of how you can train your clients with some different offers.
Does the client, the end generator purchaser, they're paying back that $1,000?
Because they already got paid it. So they added the $1,000 to the contract price. So when the client finances it, they get paid that extra $1,000.
I see what you're saying.
So they're just adding $1,000 to the bottom line price, and then just writing a check for $1,000 to give the impression that they're getting paid $1,000, but they're just financing it. It's basically they're taking $1,000 HELOC on their generator loan. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. You want to make sure I understand.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ivy.
So you're an example of the insurance, 30 leads free with 14-day trial. How do you do that?
Sorry, say again.
The 30 leads free with a 14-day trial.
Yeah. So that's like kind of a tricky one. Like for that, I might do 30 leads free. That's in the first month or in the first 14 days, we would just front load that credit. So for instance, instead of doing the 30 leads over 3 months, we would just give them that ad spend credit in the first 14 days, right?
But then the trial's not really just 14 days.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Like I said, I think that one might have been AI generated. I might not have approved that one. Yeah, that one's tricky. Yeah, I don't recommend signing up clients for 14-day trials. What you could do is do the call center offer for 14-day trial. You could say hey, get all your appointments booked for free for 14-day trial, but then explain to them it's a 3-month commitment and they get the call center only for 14 days for free. That's something you could do, and they're gonna be like, well, I thought it was just a 14-day trial. But the issue is that 90% of people aren't even gonna remember that. They're not even gonna bring it up. You just tell them what it is in the sales call because they forgot what they filled out. It's just a matter of getting calls booked on the calendar. So Liz has got a question. Hi, Rich. I followed this thing a few days ago and got nothing but access to a blank page that says my library. Also, my bank statement says this payment is recurring. Please cancel this. I can get a refund. I'm no longer interested in it. Call, got no response. Yeah, sorry about that, Liz. That's not accurate. There's no recurring charge on your statement. It was just a $27 payment to access to the course. So yeah, we can refund that. There should be a course in your library, but maybe there was a glitch in not adding to your account. So what I could do is just refund you the $27, and I'll just give you the training for free. You can just check it out. So I don't mind. All right, cool. Let me just post that comment, and then we'll start up the sales training next. So feel free to do a bathroom break, and then we'll get started in about 5 minutes.
I literally just don't need something.
All right, cool. So we're going to get started with the next session, and we'll post another link. Thanks.
Yeah, we're almost.